What up, y'all? I'm not feeling 100% right now. Just got started sneezing and sniffling all of a sudden. Got a stopped up nose. You can probably hear it. But anyway, this episode is with Adrian Smith. Adrian is a really cool guy, really inspiring individual. It turns out, I knew him in high school. He was a super quiet dude, and it seems as if he's been lurking in the shadows this whole time, and really working hard, and he's a super humble dude. He's not gonna. We kind of opened up a little bit, but I don't know. You're definitely gonna see Adrian around more. I hope. I really hope that we can work together more in the future. He's definitely a big entrepreneur and has a lot of things in the works. We just scanned over a whole host of topics. We really covered a lot of his work history. He worked at Disney, and he's driven big tour buses, and we go into a lot of detail about all that. We talk about what he does now and what he has going on a little bit in the future. We talked about some more stuff off camera, and that's why I'm saying I think we'll see Adrian around, or I hope we will be able to link up with him again sometime. So, please subscribe. Trying to get the subs up to 1,000 so that I can make some YouTube money, and have some stickers. If you're not in the Ruston area, North Louisiana area, and you want a sticker, hit me up on Instagram, dan.mabry, and I can send you some, ship you some for a small donation. So that's a quick and easy way to support the podcast. Also, if you want to be on this podcast and you can't make it, you can send me a voice memo to danmabryproject@gmail.com. I can put you on up here at the front of the podcast, and you can start it off. So, thanks for your support, and I really hope that you enjoy this episode as much as I did. Peace. Adrian Smith, welcome to the program.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for reaching out.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate you. Adrian reached out to me and basically said, "Hey, man, I want to talk to you about entrepreneurship and things like that." And you didn't grab my attention at first, but the more that I thought about it and remembered some of the things that you'd been involved in, I got more and more excited. So yeah. I really want to pick your brain. So we know each other from high school.
For sure, yeah.
And
West Monroe.
Yeah, and you weren't the guy that you seem to be today in high school.
No.
From what I recall, people called you Sloth.
For sure, yeah.
And
that was my party name.
Okay, fair enough.
I used it as an alias, so people talk about Sloth, and I just get away with everything.
No
Teachers
doubt.
knew me as Adrian. They'd be like, "Who's this Sloth character?"
Yeah, this is sweet guy Adrian. That's all I know.
Such a nice guy. He's so quiet. Doesn't say anything.
But
just have ragers.
You played football, offensive line.
Yeah, I was terrible.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Coach Hunt screaming your name
all the time.
Yeah,
it was a constant noun in his life.
Yeah, but I guess I do remember the first time you grabbed my attention outside of high school.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what
you became president of your fraternity.
Oh, no, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Okay.
That was not me.
Fair enough.
But I was pledge class president.
And
that's what most people were like assuming presidency. But no, I was just like made it a big deal that I was PC.
I did the same thing. I was my pledge class president
you're just a little shit.
You're nothing, but you kind of think you are.
You think you are, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I saw something about that, or you were involved in the fraternity or whatever, and I was like, man, I never would have picked that guy to be like involved in that kind of stuff.
You have to expand your network.
Yeah, no doubt. So I guess when did you decide that you wanted to be a part of a fraternity, and like I guess when did you start to like step out of your comfort zone?
So in high school, just played a lot of Xbox. Just when I got home from school, didn't even worry about homework. Just sat down, played COD, and then ate Little Debbie stacking cakes and didn't worry about anything. Then football ended, and my dad's kind of really into fitness, and he was like, "Look, come on, like, what are you doing?" So he took me over to the wellness center, and we started grinding it out. And I was just like, I got more conscious of my body and the way that I communicated to people, and who my friends were. And I was like, well, all these people are surrounding us the same age. Like, why would we not get to know those individuals? And so going in, TFM was a big thing too. This was 2012.
For
so
sure.
Total Frat Move on Twitter was just like the thing.
No doubt.
So one of those guys came in, was like, "Oh, I'm the frattest guy ever, blah, blah," but then just used it as a networking opportunity and just built relationships with all my pledge brothers, and we're all still really close to this day.
For sure, I get that, no doubt. I guess the second thing that grabbed my attention was your driving buses.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
How did you get into driving buses?
So I'm still to this day the youngest bus driver that has really walked into the DMV and like got a class. It's a CDL Class B with a passenger endorsement.
Okay.
So when I walked in, I was like, I'm here to take my CDL test. They're like, they looked at me. I'm like, I was shaving then. They were like, what do you do? Like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 21. And so they would just were like, okay, I mean, that's the legal cutoff. But normally you have to be 25. That's for insurance purposes.
Okay.
So, but it's my full disclosure, Mayo Tours is my family. So they were just like, they're always desperate for drivers. If you want a job, call me. Reach out to Adrian at R Consulting. I will get you a job at Mayo Tours. We pay really well. We always need drivers. So
there you go.
I just dove into it. I mean, I was in college still. So on the weekends, I'd make, $400 just 2 days.
Yeah.
And just go drive a bus to Florida and back.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that it was your family, so that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, so they were, the day I turned 21, I got a phone call and like, so you can drive now.
Yeah.
So, that's just how it started.
Yeah, for sure. When I was 14, I was on a tractor, and whenever you turn 21, you start driving buses. I get it.
Right then, I was getting a phone call.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But, I've done that for forever. I recently quit.
Okay.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah.
I did.
I was about to say, can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, I know you're like go long trips and just got to stay up for many hours. And I remember like bus drivers took us to like Panama for
so I've done that. I drove Sigma to Panama City.
Yeah.
Beach. I did that
and
2 years ago.
So you what do you do after you get there? You just like hang out?
Well, yeah. So they put you up in a hotel, so I can Uber anywhere, do whatever I want. I mean, we have an itinerary that lists what we can and can't, like what our defined schedule is going to be. So
gotcha.
Now you get there the first night, you drop Sigma Nu off, then you come back and pick them up with the formal. Well, obviously you can't just go to the bar right when you drop them off. You go to bed and take a nap. But then after that, 2 days or whatever, however long, I can't remember, it was 2 years ago, but you can go to the beach and hang out and drink or do whatever. I mean, you're free. So except for you don't have a ride. I mean, you have a 52-foot bus. You just whip it around the block, go to Walmart.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't really go through the Chick-fil-A drive-through.
No, not at all. I mean, if you go to Chick-fil-A, they're all just cursing at you because they think 52 people are about to step off this thing.
No doubt, no doubt. And I guess I've seen you drive for Dyaln Scott.
Yeah, so
tell people about Dyaln Scott and how you got involved.
So
in
Dylan's a great guy. He comes off kind of as a douchebag if you look at him from the outside in. I used to manage a bar, and he came and played there while I was there, and I didn't like the kid. But as I developed a relationship through driving and actually communicating with him as an individual, I mean, he's just like a super nice guy. He's super smart. I mean, ridiculously smart. You don't get to that level unless you're an intelligent individual. So Dylan, he built this group of guys.
Pull the mic a little bit closer.
Dylan, he built these group of guys, and so they're all 22 and up. I mean, nobody's older than 27.
Okay.
Well, now one of them's 28, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, like, he just built this little niche, and he was like, I want all young guys. I want guys that we can hang with, And so, like, me, the youngest entertainer driver out there on the market, I mean, there's not another 20. I was 24, now 25. So I was 24 at the time, and they were like, you're the only person out there because you have to be 25 normally for insurance purposes to drive that bus.
Okay.
So they found me, and they were just like, whatever they could do to keep me.
Yeah.
But it's just long hours, late night. Like, I would drop them off at the venue, park the bus. I mean, you're also pulling a trailer when you're doing this. So you back this trailer into the behind the stage, and then you just hang out till 11 till you can check in your hotel and just shoot the crap with all the guys, and then get off the bus, go to the hotel, sleep, come back right as the show ends. They're all pumped, jacked, adrenaline's rushing. They run back on the bus. Then they had me like working security outside the bus just so these girls wouldn't come in. I mean, it's crazy. All these people, you realize how weird it is when you're at that level, when people are looking at you and they can't. They're like zombies. We call them being zombies. Like those people are zombie mode.
For sure.
Because they're not thinking rationally.
Right. Yeah.
They're just gonna. Dyaln Scott, saw my tits. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care. It's not the same as if they met me or you.
Starstruck.
It's ridiculous. It's a real thing, and it made me realize I don't want to be the person in that spotlight. I want to be the person, like his manager behind the scenes, you know, that is maintaining and controlling what you're seeing. But I can go to Walmart, or I can walk into McDonald's or Taco Bell after the show and not have to worry about the staff stopping what they're doing and coming out behind the counter and getting photos and freaking out.
Yeah.
Or playing his music in the background. He liked that, but I mean, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't go to the gym. You can't when you're at that level.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It sounds great. Oh yeah, girls throwing themselves at you all the time, and you're walking around and you're the man. But then when you can't, you lose that freedom.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I imagine it was definitely overwhelming at times.
Well, it wasn't even me. It was him.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you got to travel the country doing that?
I looked at my Google Maps 2 days ago. I've been in every state besides California, Nevada, and Washington. I mean, I've been everywhere, and that was just in 6 months.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
But I mean, I drive all night, sleep all day.
Yeah. I was about to say, did you ever get to see a show?
Yeah, I mean, I would show. Sometimes we don't have to drive 2 hours, so I just show up and watch the show.
Yeah.
I mean, but
that's fair.
But it's the same show.
Yeah.
I mean, it just changed. I mean, they change seasonally. It's just like anything. You push, and then you flip. And
for sure.
It's
That's
just
cool.
a hustle.
I imagine you definitely got some experience out of that and got to see some things you never seen before.
Yeah, it's an unreal job. I mean, there's guys that will never stop doing it. I mean, there's bus drivers I've talked to that they've been doing this 40 years, and that's the life they love to live because they like the VIP pass and getting to hang with like AC/DC or anybody like that. Like, I mean, I had opportunities to go drive for Beyonce. I mean, she has like 40 buses moving. So these are just like huge operations you don't ever think about. It's like a fair. I mean, they're traveling across the interstate, but she's never on a bus. She flies in, obviously.
Yeah, but this is, like you say, it is a kind of a traveling circus with all the props and stage equipment and everything that everybody's carrying around.
For Beyonce, I know we're getting a lot into bus details, but if you want a job, call me. Anyway, so Beyonce has 2 different stages. So one stage is setting up while she's playing a show, and then she goes to that one, and then that stage breaks down and goes to a different city. And then she just hops on a jet and flies in. And if they have a helicopter landing spot, she flies in that helicopter. If they don't, she has private security drive her in armored vehicles.
Yeah.
That's how crazy. Just think about that. You can't even go to your own show in a bus. You have to fly in a helicopter, or you're going to just be bombarded. Or if you don't have a helicopter, you're driving in with like a convoy of 4 blacked out SUVs with armor plated windows. That's how you lose your freedom. And I mean, the success, you have money. I mean, she has more money that her grandkids are going to be happy. But she's not going to have freedom. I mean, she's trapped.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I guess most people
you
think
don't
of it that way.
conceptualize that idea until you actually see it.
Like my mind went to, like she has to have that money to be able to protect herself at this point.
At this point, yes. But she has so much money that she can never lose it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
her kids could lose it, but she couldn't.
I mean, didn't Jay-Z bail 4 dudes out of jail last week or something?
I
don't know. It's just something I saw on Twitter.
I mean, when you have that much money, you can get away with anything besides murder and rape. I mean,
yeah, pretty
you really
much.
can. I mean, it's just who do you know?
That's
Who's
fair.
going to take 20 grand?
That's fair.
I would. I mean, I'd take 20 grand if all I had to do was just shuffle some papers.
And I guess that's maybe why some people are getting in trouble in the political system right now.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's all that. That's not good.
But so I guess you went to ULM and graduated from ULM.
Yeah. So I graduated in risk management insurance.
Okay.
I mean, I had already had an agency before I graduated. I was already licensed and I was writing insurance. So that's kind of what I do. It's main source of income. But then I also have a property management company that we have a couple we have 3 rental properties, and then we manage other rental properties for people for a cut. And then I started this entertainment company just to do event promotion and stuff like that. And I threw a New Year's Eve party. That's what the bottle of champagne is from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you. And so that was definitely a large risk, and I'm really anti taking risk. But then again, if I can control that risk, I'm going to do it.
For sure, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, if it's your baby, then it's all under your control. I get that.
You have to. I mean, we talked a lot about Beyonce losing her freedom or Dylan losing his freedom. That's what I'm about. I want freedom. I don't want to have a 9 to 5 or be told when I can do something or when I can't do something.
Yeah.
You know, like today, I got to stay. My grandfather was in the ER. I told you I had to go see him. We had to rush him to the ER. So I stayed with him till 2 a.m. because I don't have to come here and sit down in front of a desk. I can take 2 steps out of my bed and sit down at a computer and do the same job that I'm going to do right here.
Right.
So, I mean, I rarely come to my own office. I mean, I have that much freedom. I can go walk my dog at noon and not have to worry about being in the back of the office at 1. You know? So, I mean, I'll come over here and hang out if I don't have much going on, just see if I can work something up, but just to get a different environment. But freedom's important, and a lot of people are just stuck. I mean, you can't, and they don't know how to get out of it. So that's kind of what I want to show is like how you can get out of it. So I know that you work for your family, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that?
This most recent stint, basically 2 years now, almost 2 years. So.
See, that's awesome. I mean, who actually is the CEO of your company?
My father.
Your father. So that's great. So your father, if I'm not mistaken, has a little bit of freedom. He can do just about anything, right? He can
Most
show
definitely.
up at noon. I mean, but he's not. If you're that type of individual, you're going to be there,
Right.
You know. But he can go take a vacation to Bali or fly across the world if he wanted to. Now, most people
sure.
like that in that situation. They're driven. They're not going to do that because he sees it as a job for you. He sees it for a job for X, Y, Z. So, I mean, he started with an idea. He started at your age, probably, right? I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, he would kind of work through the system. He worked for a couple different companies, and
He built up experience.
yeah, no doubt, built up experience and was able to move up pretty quickly in these businesses, and basically he got to a point where he was fed up with some things and told them if they didn't change, he was going to leave, and they didn't change, so he left and went and. My grandfather had basically a dirt hauling business. He had some dump trucks, and so my dad and my uncle, who's also involved in the business, grew up doing that kind of stuff. So whenever my dad got out of that business, he started his own business and started it basically almost from the ground up. You know, he had a little bit of backup from his dad, but he has definitely made it what it is today, no doubt about it. So.
Yeah, you have to have that mentor. You have to have that support system, or you can't do. I mean, you're not gonna be able to take that leap unless you had a rope tied to you. You know?
For sure.
You know, so I mean, he had the ability to see that he could do it better, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is they can do it better. I mean, we're young. We have technology. I can send an email or answer something. We use Accord Forms. It's a document that you find online, and you fill it out. So, but a 67-year-old woman who's the generic underwriter might take her a day to fill that out, whereas I can bust it out in 15 minutes.
Right.
Because I'm sitting there, I have a dual monitor set up, I can look at the email and look at the information, just type it away. So, I mean, we have such an advantage due to our youth and our experience with technology that we can literally just crush everybody else. And it's a weird thing to grasp, but like you could probably go into your dad's company and like change a bunch and make it all digitally based, and you could speed up the process by at least 20%.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
I see what you're talking about, and that is something that I guess I saw recently is like the millennial generation may actually be one of the better generations, like us, like basically 20s to 30s right now. People, I guess maybe. 24
Whatever, yeah.
up,
Yeah. Whatever the definition of millennial is.
We grew up with without the internet necessarily taking over our lives at such a young age, and now we grew up enough with it that we're comfortable enough with it to do what we want to be able to do. And like you say, it would only take us 15 minutes to fill out a form on the internet, where our grandmother, it may take them, like you say, a whole day or something, and they'll probably call you asking for help along the way. And that may, obviously, no one knows what's going to happen in human history, but we may actually be the greatest generation because we got to see.
We had computer labs.
Yeah, well, and we got to see how people used to do things and how people are doing things now, and I don't know. It's an interesting concept, like you say.
Well, we got to experience life without a cell phone, life without internet. I mean, you probably had a computer in your house, but you didn't have a computer in your room.
No.
So these kids have computers in their pockets.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing they ever did. They didn't even know how to talk, and they're playing games on their parents' phone, running apps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when it comes to that type of technology, we might be screwed due to their intelligence with it, but we got to see both sides of the coin, and we can see how useful it actually is, and that gives us a jump start, especially on the generation leaving. So I mean, you can start a company online. I mean, and it's a legal LLC or a legal corporation. And it costs $120.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that. I mean, you go to a lawyer, it costs you $3,000. So, I mean, all this information is out there, and you can find it with a simple Google search. That's another big thing is people older than us, like let's just say 50s, they can't Google stuff as well as us. We can find things and source it and understand that's not an ad. This is what's actually right. We can see their sources.
Sort through the BS.
Yeah, we can do it very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can find something out. I can Google like what's the proper blood pressure in 20 seconds. Whereas if you're 60, you know, you might look at your blood pressure and it's fine and try to figure it out and be like, oh, just whatever, you know. Next thing you know, you have a stroke and you're going to the hospital. I mean, it gets pretty wild, but we can do a lot, man, and a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, we have so much power. YouTube, your platform. I mean, I learned how to drive a bus on YouTube. Like I learned how to pass the pre-trip inspection via a YouTube video that I memorized.
Nice.
I mean, that's kind of a scary thing if you were sitting on the bus and I'm driving it.
Right.
But I mean, YouTube is awesome. I mean, I passed my insurance exam by looking at YouTube videos of guys teaching insurance exams. I didn't have to go take a class. I got to just 15-minute video. A guy doing a little rhyme to memorize how homeowners policies work. You know,
that's awesome.
Just on YouTube. Dude. I mean, I learned how to. You can like learn anything you want to on YouTube. It's a YouTube University. It's a real thing. I mean, you can figure out if you're smart enough. You have the world in your hand. You know,
for sure. That is an argument that's been brought up, I guess, in maybe some of Joe Rogan's stuff. But like, and I think Gary Vee. We've talked about Gary Vee as well. But you know, there is no excuse anymore, and it's like people want to play the sympathy card to people, and obviously every situation's different, but I feel like if you're healthy and have a sound mind, and like there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to do whatever you want to do if you just commit to it and put it.
You have to grind.
Yeah.
You can't just sit at home and smoke weed and hang out with your dog. I mean,
that's
fun, but you have to grind. You have to sit there every day and get better. You can't just okay, so most people have an idea, and then a month later, I know you've seen these pictures and memes, like it's still an idea. But if I have an idea, and I mean this is boastful, I start listing things. I create a goal. I list it all out. I mean, I write. Yeah. I write daily objectives. I just figure stuff out, and then you have to complete that task. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to start a business. We're going to sell blank, and then a month later, I'm going to start this business. No. Go get on GoBiz, research names, figure it out. I mean, GoBiz is go like you spell it, GUEAX .biz. It's the website the Secretary of State website that you go to register for corporations. If anybody needs any help, call me. I can set you up. It's $130. I don't charge anybody anything. It takes me 30 minutes.
Cool.
So if you need a corporation, that's just how you do it.
I need a corporation.
I got you, man. We'll talk after the show.
Cool.
I mean, you do. You need to protect yourself. I mean, it's a real thing.
No doubt.
So, I mean, I've already lost my train of thought. GoBiz.com. Yeah, GoBiz. It's not .com. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you have some notes there.
I got a lot of notes.
What are you trying to get into?
So I have talking points. I mean, you ever done yoga?
Yoga? See, so whenever I lost my job in Denver, I was just get bored because I was just looking for jobs and didn't want to spend any money. So I started doing some yoga from YouTube in my
that's right. YouTube, man. You can do anything.
And but it's it's something that I've never just pursued a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's
but I'm very aware that it would definitely help me out.
Dude, meditation's key, man.
And meditation. Are you familiar with like Wim Hof?
Are you talking about that Nordic guy?
Yeah,
the Iceman. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never looked into the breathing technique.
Yeah.
It takes time. You gotta have time to do that.
So I looked into the breathing technique and I did it for a couple days in a row, and you definitely get a high off of it. Like
you'd have to.
You flood your body with oxygen, and it's a really really interesting feeling. Something that I want to get more into is the whole ice bath part of it, especially because I'm starting to like work out again and stuff, and I haven't really I mean, I've like maintained my body, and I have a physical job, so I'm always moving, but I really have had a more desire recently to just like push myself hard.
You should, yeah.
And so, obviously we took ice baths in high school, and it wasn't the greatest thing in the world,
but you felt awesome.
Yeah, and the more that I look into it, it's really good for your body. Like, it flushes you out regardless of whether you've been working out or not. It literally like
forces you to work your respiratory system because you're just.
When's the last time you took a cold shower?
Oh, yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You get so pumped.
Yeah,
If it's
for
really
sure.
cold,
Yeah.
you stand there, just flex.
I didn't. I had to put a little bit of hot in there. I couldn't make
Oh
it.
no,
all
you
the
got
way
to do
cold.
it. You just do the breathing technique.
I know.
I do like a box breathing techniques, like what the Special Forces operators and Navy
Okay.
SEALs use. I mean, there's an app that you can download. It's free, and
Alright.
it has a bunch of breathing exercises for various things. And that's like a cheat code, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in life hacks, and that is a life hack. If
For
you
sure.
sit there and you're about to shoot a turkey, and you just and breathe for just a few seconds before you pull that trigger, you're gonna kill that turkey.
Did you go turkey hunting today?
I did not.
Oh,
I was in the ER till 3 a.m.
Oh,
so,
oh yeah, fair enough.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, yoga's awesome. I
you've
love
been
it.
been
Dude.
pretty doing it pretty
I
often.
do the same thing. Living room,
Okay.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to watch somebody? You don't go to a room with a bunch of girls and do yoga. I mean, that sounds great, but
Yeah.
and you really do it, and you're like, okay, this is kind of weird. You know?
Yeah.
So, but in privacy of your own home, it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool thing. So,
No doubt.
but dude, I don't know, man. Yoga's awesome. Have you eaten any good food here lately?
Oh, any good food? No, not really.
Dude, Latin food?
Latin food is good. I had Ray's PG po' boy the other day. I hadn't had one in a couple years,
Oh, God.
and so
I
that
thought
was
you were trying to get healthy.
that was pretty fire. So lunch is
A freebie?
lunch is a freebie for me.
I heard you're doing like intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I do try to do intermittent fasting.
So that's just your cheat meal?
I'm about to quit that because
I saw that podcast.
What?
Madeline, is that her
Yeah,
name?
Madeline,
So
yeah.
I saw that one. And I don't know, dude. There's too much proof
Of what?
of like how it works.
Of intermittent fasting
Yeah.
working? So here's my reason for not. So I work outside, and it's about to be 90 degrees every day. And so, like, no matter what I put in my body, I'm going to burn it off because I just sweat so much throughout the day in the summer. So
Touche, yeah.
I was doing the intermittent fasting because we don't work nearly as hard in the winter.
Yeah.
And that was just a good way for me to stay slim.
Which I for sure see the benefits. When I go work at the camp, I'll eat Huddle House on the way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not in norm, but if I'm here or doing something, I'm not eating till 12, and then I stop eating at 8.
Yeah.
But if I'm working outside, I get why you would do that.
Yeah.
But still throw it in on the weekends. I mean,
Yeah,
it
no
can't
doubt.
hurt you.
I mean, I pretty much do it on the weekends anyway, just because I don't know.
You're not
it
gonna wake
depends.
up. Yeah.
It depends on what I'm doing.
Hey, you're
I
still
guess.
fasting if you're sleeping.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
So.
Our mutual friend Amelia Haynes just did a full 24-hour fast. She told me.
Really?
Yeah, she said she enjoys it.
They
so.
say it's good to do like a 48-hour fast too.
Yeah.
Logan Robinson, shout out to Logan. He's Dylan's little brother. He did a 72-hour fast while we're on tour, dude. He glowed afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind. Yeah, fasting is an interesting deal. I know some people that have just gone straight juice and liquids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't do all that.
yeah, I don't know. Have you ever done any like juicing,
No.
Smoothie King diet?
Last time I went to Smoothie King, that's ice cream to me.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
that was years ago.
Fair enough.
But, dude, why are you not drinking coffee?
Why am I not drinking coffee? Because
If y'all didn't know, he's not drinking
yeah,
coffee.
I'm not drinking coffee. Coffee messes with your adrenal gland, and
Who says?
I don't know. It's just a little bit of research that I've done.
Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
I don't know. I was talking to my good friend Nathan Littleton the other day. Regardless of whether it's true or not, I operate under the idea that I have poor teeth, and like I know that
Is it like sensitive teeth or?
it's just I didn't take care of them when I was young, and I've just like battled that for a long time. I mean, it's under control now. I brush my teeth every day. Don't worry,
You
guys.
should,
Floss on a regular basis
you
as
should.
well. But I literally did not for like a whole year. Just didn't brush my
Or you
teeth.
just like living that hippie lifestyle? Like
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
wear
I
deodorant?
was just basically was being a lazy freshman in college and was just drinking and partying and
No
doing
girls
whatever
ever
I
said,
want.
"What are you doing?"
Not really.
They were probably had a little beer on their
I
breath as well.
mean, yeah, basically. But I didn't really take home that many girls anyway.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I'm not complaining about it. But yeah, so coffee will stain your teeth as well.
Oh, for sure.
So that was just kind of, or just I don't know. It was one less thing that I could be addicted to, because that was kind of really what. Like, I don't see myself as an addict, because
No.
I've been injured and I've taken Lortabs and pain pills and stuff like that, and
sure.
I've taken them for long enough to feel the effects whenever you get off of it.
It's not good.
No, it's not. It's not a fun time.
Now imagine
But-
that times 2,000 or whatever
Right.
it is on morphine and heroin.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. So, I feel like I don't necessarily battle with addiction a lot, but
Yeah, you seem like a rational individual. I mean, I don't think you could. Most people who are rational don't battle with
Yeah.
addiction. I mean,
but I guess maybe the more that I'm talking this out. So one day I was going to get coffee before work, and pulled up to a light right as it turned red, and I made a right turn. I immediately got pulled over by a state trooper and got a running a red light ticket, and I was on my way to get coffee. So
Wow.
I was literally got the ticket in
so you think it's just like
in
a
the
negative
parking lot
energy?
of the gas station, and I was just like, I'm literally like was rushing to get here to get this, and it's just like it's something that I can easily cut out of my life. So I guess that's
Coffee
why I
pot.
chose to do it. And I'm like, I had already cut out soft drinks, stuff like that. I think I mentioned it before. Like
Yeah.
one day I decided that I was drinking whiskey and Coke on a regular
Yeah.
basis, and I was like, oh no, I'm killing myself doing this. So
Whiskey and club soda, man.
yeah. Well, but okay, I see where you're at.
Just a splash of club soda.
But I just take it on the rocks now,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's good.
yeah.
Let it sit for about 10 seconds and
Yeah.
then drink it.
for sure. First one's always the worst one.
No. Delicious. What are you drinking now?
If I'm buying a bottle of whiskey, it's gonna be Basil Hayden's.
Basil Hayden's?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, I love it.
It has a weird grass taste, though, doesn't it? I mean, just a
I
little
don't
bit.
know. I'm not like
Have you had Eagle Rare?
Eagle Rare. It's been a very long time.
That's some good stuff. I'm a
Yeah.
Maker's Mark guy, and
Yeah.
I'm Maker's 46. But Eagle Rare, if I'm going cheap bourbon, Eagle
Yeah.
Rare. That's
I
the
used
stuff.
to. That was so. This is a confession.
Go for
it. You get money after you graduate high school.
Oh, yeah. Technical difficulty.
So you get money for graduating high
Oh,
school.
yeah, everybody does.
People send you money. And I spent a lot of that money on Maker's Mark my freshman year of college, because I was buying a fifth of Maker's Mark every weekend. And, didn't see a problem in the world with that
No.
at the
You
time.
got $3,000 in your account, never had that much money before.
Exactly.
Yeah. I spent on natural light and gas. Gas was so expensive in 2012.
Gas, yeah.
I drove an excursion.
Yeah.
Oh, 120 a fill up.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, dude. 120 a fill up and you're a freshman in college.
Oh, that's tough.
It was bad. It was real bad.
It's not like you could just, like, go get rid of it.
No, yeah, I think we got 5,000 for it when we
Yeah,
sold it, and it's still running around. It actually is like parked at the bank across the street.
Man,
I see it all the time.
that's crazy.
I used to like live in that bitch.
I would have too, man. That's an ultimate adventure mobile.
Sleep outside the KA house, just have like a pallet.
Yeah.
Just pass out, leave it running.
Yeah. Is it diesel?
No, it wasn't
No?
diesel. It was, that's what I'm saying. It was so
Okay.
expensive. The
Yeah,
gas. I
yeah.
wish it had been diesel. Diesel was cheaper then.
That's true. Man.
I love it. I loved it. Dude, looking back at like fraternity life and stuff like that, it's like the best time you never want to have again. You know,
I totally agree with that
You know,
statement.
you get that all out of your system, and then you can focus on what's important. which
Yeah.
is,
Like I say, I just went through college. Like, if you look at my graduating pictures from college, like the day that I graduated, I am pissed.
you went to graduation?
Hell yeah, I walked. My mom was there. I had to.
Yeah, I asked my
Uh,
mom permission. I mean, I was like, "Can
fair
I just not go?" And didn't go.
That's awesome. But yeah, like, and I just wanted to have a good time. And that's what I did for 4.5 years.
For sure.
And I wasn't happy to leave. I forget where we were going with that, but
I don't know. It's just how we would never. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
we
wouldn't
got
walk
it out
back
our
in that house
system.
again.
Yeah.
And do it all over.
Oh, no.
I would be doing way different things.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would be listing goals and
for
writing
sure. Yeah,
essays
if I
on-
could go back and start over, like,
Just think how much energy you had back then.
but like you say, like the whole networking deal is cool.
It's
Like,
great. It builds leadership. I mean, you get leadership skills. I mean,
Yeah, no doubt. I
so-
put myself and got forced into leadership positions, and obviously developed a whole bunch of friends and brothers,
Yeah.
and seriously mean that. But yeah, the whole like all the other parts of it, really.
Yeah, just
You could totally
you should have went to class. Is what you should
go start a podcast at freshman year.
you
and
could
be
run a
4 years
side
in.
business.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt about it. You can definitely do other things while you're in college.
yeah, the last year of college, I didn't. I just kind of I paid my dues and got out. And
Yeah,
just
that
grinded.
was me. I had been on IFC,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, same.
I had like put a couple years into that, and so it basically got to the point where I didn't want to be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done a lot for the fraternity, and so I basically told them that I was going alumni and made them vote on it, and they voted me through. So
Yeah, I wrote a letter and had it signed off on.
yeah, I basically talked to our advisor and was like, "Look, man, this is my situation, and I'm pretty much done. Like, I love this place, but I'm don't want to be a part of it anymore." And
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm trying to start my own life, and this is just putting me into debt." So
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of money.
yeah, no, for sure.
But there's no other experience that you can. There's no other way, in my opinion, to get that type of experience that quick. I mean, you go from being in high school and not being able to do anything, then having again complete freedom to do. I mean, you had a house, you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
We could walk in, punch a hole through a window,
Yeah.
and then just pay them $40.
For sure.
I mean, whatever we wanted. You throw beer bottles through the wall and just pay for it. I
Mhm.
mean, but you got to have the money to do that, and you got to be able to be crazy enough to do that. But you're not. There's no other way you could like build these. I guess the intellect to sit in front of a group of guys and lead them, or just like it's basic corporate structure. I mean, it's how you run a business is the same way how you run a chapter. So I mean, you get that experience really quick, especially if you get a leadership role. Which I mean, I didn't, but I saw it, and I was, I guess, intelligent enough to understand what was going on and how it worked. And it's the exact same way in life. I mean, I was used to really resent it and just say, okay, that was the biggest waste of money. I could have went and drank and did whatever by myself, and like still met the same people, which I probably would have. But I had a really good friend of mine, Casey Semino, break it down in that way. He's like, no, you built. You gain the ability to lead people and be in a large group and organize them. And so, I mean, I was head of philanthropy for forever, and I mean that's what I do. I have the James P. Mayo Foundation that we just raise money to feed the less fortunate. So that's kind of what I did with the New Year's Eve party. But I mean, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have that desire if I wouldn't have been in the philanthropy for that fraternity. So, I mean, you get that knowledge, and most people don't look at it like that. They say, okay, you just drank and had fun, and it really doesn't make a difference if I met you and we didn't know anything about each other, and I said I was in a fraternity, you're like I'm in a fraternity, but you're like I'm Sigma Nu, I'm Kate. Well, then that's it. But if I say I'm Sigma Nu and you say you're Sigma Nu, then you instantly have that bond because you went through that same experience. But it only matters unless it only is relevant if it was the same fraternity.
Yeah.
Most guys, if you met an SAE and walked out of here and met a guy who's an SAE, you're like whatever, bro. But if he was a Sigma Nu, you'd be like, oh, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Give each other a grip or whatever.
Funny enough, like it just popped in my head, but before I lost my job in Denver, I was riding around with my direct manager, boss, whatever you want to call him, one day, and we're talking, and he's like, yeah, you know the reason why I selected you over the other people? And I was like, no. And he was like, you're from the South, and you were in a fraternity. And I was like, oh, man, this is not good. I was like, if those were the only two reasons that you selected me over the other people, I was like, that's not good for me. And it ended up not being good for me. But
Wow.
That was just kind of weird. Like,
And it wasn't even the same fraternity?
Oh, no.
Okay,
no.
so you threw my analysis out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for
Yeah.
a little bit. You got to go to Denver.
Yeah, no doubt.
You broaden your horizons a little bit. I
For
think
sure.
you have to get out. You have to get out of Monroe or
Oh,
West
yeah.
Monroe or Ruston. You have to, I mean, for me, I went to Orlando and worked for Disney. So I worked for the mouse.
Really?
Yeah, I did that for 9 months.
Really?
It was the best, worst 9 months of my life.
Were you in, like, guest relations or something?
Heck no, I wish. I literally stood on a pool deck, which I was a custodian,
Okay.
but I got lucked out. I was at the Grand Floridian, which is the most expensive resort, and they put me in like a golf shirt and short shorts, and I
Yeah.
stood there in stock towels all day. That was my
Wow.
job. I just pulled towel racks, emptied them, and stocked them, and just talked to people.
Wow.
So I did that for 9 months, and I worked with the laziest people I've ever worked with in my life. But I learned really good customer service. I learned how to communicate with people better from all different walks of life. I mean, I couldn't even. This is a confession as well. Like I couldn't stand gay people. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Then I ended up living with 5 gay dudes, and they were the nicest, most genuine people I've ever met in my life. And they loved me, and I was just this cool Southern dude. Most people who go work for Disney are like fat, crazy, nerdy. They're sitting there playing Xbox all day.
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there, just hanging out, drinking Miller Lite, and I mean, I had straight roommates too. I mean, over the course of the 9 months, I probably had 12 different roommates because people come and quit because they figure out this is not for them. They just leave. So, I mean, we just built relationships with all different walks of life. And whereas if I would have stayed in West Monroe, I'd probably just still been a homophobe and just it's just an irrational fear,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
my first thought is, why did you stay there? Why? I mean, that seems like
because I don't
really
quit.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna work for Disney and get my 9 months, and I'm gonna leave. But it taught me a lot of things. One, don't judge people based on their beliefs or anything like that. I mean, I had Muslim friends. I met this dude that was a Muslim Jew. Like, his mom was Muslim. His dad was Jewish. He was from Israel. He was a cook. He ate bacon. I mean, what are you doing? You were the most diverse individual. Like, your parents hate each other. One worked for the CIA and one worked for the FBI. It was ridiculous.
That's insane.
So and he's a Muslim Jew. Who you're not gonna meet a Muslim Jew in Monroe.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, you're not. So I mean,
even if they are, they're not gonna let you know that.
For sure. But that was a starting point. Hey, my name's Yusuf. I'm a Muslim Jew. What's up?
Oh wow,
so,
that's awesome.
But yeah, he's great. He's a great guy. I mean,
so I guess, how did you get involved with that? Is that something that you seeked out?
Yeah, so just go in there as a kid. That's how they get you. That's the whole secret to Disney. Is a marketing ploy. I mean, they want you to build nostalgia.
I was thinking literally today that I don't like Disney and Disney parks, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that.
Don't.
I guess I'm looking at it more of it's just a waste.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste of space. I mean, I understand. I've been there. I want to go on vacation too, but I don't know. I just see it's a place you just kind of throw in your money. And I mean, I understand you get joy out of it, and there's a lot of people who really love it, and a lot of people that I'm pretty close with that really enjoy it. But I guess it's just, I grew up on Disney movies, but it's just not something that I'm seeking out all the time. I guess I'm not planning on my vacation going to Disney.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, I'll tell you this, I will never pay unless I have children. When I have children that are 6 and up, I will pay to go in. But right now, I will not pay to go in that park. If I take a trip, I won't pay to go in there if I drive a bus over there. But I'll tell you what it really is and why you should hate it. Is because Walt Disney World is a mousetrap for humans. So they think about this. You pay to get in, and then you pay for everything in there. And then they take your time up by little rides that you're stuck in line for an hour and a half, and then you're hungry, and then you have to go eat, but you have to pay for that food. So they control everything. It's the perfect experiment. They test out products in there. Most people don't know that. They test out products on human beings in that, they test out soybean burgers and stuff like that, because it's where else you're gonna have a controlled environment that they can't leave unless that most people don't leave.
And you can limit the choices.
You can limit everything.
Yeah.
You control all the economics, the whole situation.
And I thought about it on a food level. That's interesting.
Dude, food level, smell level. They have things this is real. This is not a conspiracy. This is what they taught us.
Yeah.
And they do this thing. It's called traditions. It's the first actual employment date. They do a little seminar. They're trying to subconsciously brainwash. It's a 12-hour day, and they're showing you videos making magic is what they call it. It was basically just freebies. Give them a freebie. Make some magic, but you just give somebody an extra ice cream bar or a cinnamon stick or something. So then they surprise you, which if you're a smart individual, you already looked up what you're doing, and they say, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom, and you wear headphones, and there's an audio, and you can communicate with your director, and then so they're walking around, look up to your right. That is they call I can't remember what it's actually, let's just call it a Scentsy. It's a box that emits smells, like just a cinnamon roll smell, and that smell makes you salivate. I used to eat full meals and then go play in the park, and I would be hungry when I walked in the door. It's because that's what they're trying to get you to do. They want you to go buy that ice cream. They want you to buy that $9 ice cream cone. They control the whole experience. And I mean, why would you not? It's perfect.
Yeah.
They make $35 million a second. It's ridiculous. Not really, but I mean, $120 million a day.
Yeah.
Each park, and they got 4 parks. So that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
You can't even conceptualize how much. If you had 1% of that a day.
And see, I guess that's again where my head goes with it all, is that money could just be used for so many better things.
Well, they do. They do a lot. They have the EARS program, the volunteer program. They have.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
do a bunch of stuff.
I know that they do a lot of bunch of stuff,
all for their
and
gain.
they have for a very long time, and they're always been super supportive of the community. Speaking on that, and just I don't know, I was listening to a podcast today. There's a guy named Kyle Thierman who's a podcast I listen to a lot. He had a couple different guys on, and they were talking about how, like, if someone sends you a piece of mail and it's like, Joseph here is sick and hungry, and he would really like your donation. People are more willing to send the donation in that form, and comparing to like, we are feeding kids in the Sudan, like. It's just because, like,
it's old people, man.
Yeah, but it's like it gets so specific that, like, people are like, oh my gosh, that's like a real human being.
Have you ever sent any money in the mail?
No.
We're talking about our grandparents here.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's who they're targeting.
But that they were talking about how just like the marketing scheme of it, I guess, in the wording and how it affected people.
You can get so in depth with that.
Yeah.
I heard Austin's podcast, dude. Like, I sell to people all the time, but I don't have a plan. I just go in there and do it. And
Yeah.
I walk into. Normally it's a product I use, like a business that I eat at, and then I just get to know them.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
Yeah. So, you were talking about like you started a business like super early in your life, and like where did the drive to start that come from?
So my mentor and one of my best friends, other than my dad, is my grandfather, and it's the same one that was the ER last night. But he started Mayo Tours, and this dude didn't have he had an 8th grade education. So if that tells you anything, he didn't go to college, never even thought about it. He was a barber. And then had a dream. He loved to hunt, fish every Monday and Sunday. He was doing something, whatever was in season. How much time we got?
You're good.
Okay. So he would just go and fish and hunt. So he figured out a way to make money by remodeling buses. So like entertainer buses is a 12-passenger bus that you can sleep in. Well, that didn't exist in the 70s. So my cousins, it's a long rambling story. They were a touring group. They were musicians in Nashville, and so he helped them build a bus. And he's like, well, if they can build a bus, I can build a bus,
Yeah.
So then he started doing that, and that's how he kind of got into buses. And then he went on a mission trip with Christ Church to, I believe it's Christ Church, maybe one of the churches around here, and they went to Mexico. And I was told the story last night, and the Hispanic people had never saw a bus before because it was illegal to bring buses into the country at the time. So, like, he went in there, they were doing mission work, and he saw how much game was there. You look up, quail and whatever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just ridiculous, untouched,
For sure.
because they couldn't have guns.
Go down there and melt your barrel.
And they did.
Yeah.
And they did, and there's videos to prove it.
Yeah.
So he went back because my grandmother is, like, a huge philanthropist. She's, to this day, sends money down there and clothes and food and stuff. So he went fishing, and then he caught an 8-pound bass. And he caught a 4-pound bass, and it had to be 4 pounds to keep. And so he caught a 6-pound bass. And then he started thinking, I would love to do this every day. And he just had a goal. A month later, had a bus and a plan, and did that. And so he basically has taught me ever since I started really hanging out with him. And I spend a month out of the year at our deer camp, and I don't leave. I grow my beard out long, my hair's down to my shoulders. That's what I do. I'm just hanging out with my grandfather and his 84-year-old brother. And I'm cutting firewood and, just living the life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't have to pay rent. Don't have to work. All I have to do, basically, to get more food is to wash the dishes every night.
Okay.
So if we cook steak, I'm getting an extra steak because Adrian's doing the dishes.
All right.
So, like, just be a fat ass up there and just do whatever I want and just sit in a deer stand every day. But anyway, so, like, he's taught me a lot, and he told me about this book, which is the same book that my parents have read and same book that he read starting out. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay, I've heard of it.
So I read it. Have you ever read it?
No, I haven't.
You need to.
Yeah.
It'll change your life. But, I really believe that. And it basically teaches you to think differently and, like, look at things from an objective level and how you can do whatever you want. If you want to go do maritime international shipping, you can go to Shreveport and sign up for it, and that's how you ship things across. So, you can do anything, literally anything, but most people don't have that mindset. They don't have the mindset that we can do anything.
Yeah.
So basically my grandfather, by looking at him as an example, he showed me that I can do whatever I want and kind of use him as a mentor. I call it seeking counsel whenever I have a big plan or project. But like this, normally happens within 2 hours. Like I conceptualize an idea, and then say for my New Year's Eve party, it was New Year's Eve 2 years ago, and we couldn't figure out anything to do. We had a bunch of people, and we were wearing suits, and we're like, what are we gonna do in Monroe? There was nothing to do. So I instantly was like, all right, I'm gonna do a New Year's Eve party next year. It's gonna be black tie, all you can drink, all you can eat, and this is what we're gonna do. And so right then I told my mom, she was sitting right there. I said, all right, let's seek counsel. And then sat down in a suit and I was like, all right, this is what we need to do to get this started. And she was like, and then she started pitching things. then the next day, 2 days later, I sat with my grandfather. I was like, all right, so this is what I'm kind of looking to do. And he was like, well, what is it going to be what are you going to do with the money? I mean, you can make money, but what are you going to do with it? And I was like, well, I don't know. Let me think about it. So then just developed a plan over the course of a few months, and then ended up coming with the idea, like, they have a soup kitchen in Balkanville. And I was like, well, I would give all the money to them. I mean, I'll just, like, use it to build this business and, like, do corporate events and stuff like that. And then just have a really fun party, and it don't cost me anything, you know?
Yeah.
Unlimited champagne, unlimited food. I mean, fireworks in Monroe. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But so I got to have this bomb-ass party, and then just take that idea from it, just going, not having anything to do, to the next year. I'm standing in a venue that I planned everything. I had 2 bands, a jazz band, a country band, and just standing there and like, I did this. I mean,
Yeah.
I basically planned a wedding, essentially. It was just like
Yeah,
a
fair
DU
enough.
banquet or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can take anything. That's just like a simple idea, and it really isn't hard to throw a party. But
So how was the New Year's Eve party?
I lost a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But I still donated $500, and I gave them all the food. So we had like $1,500 worth of food left.
Wow.
So I ended up losing like $3,000, which I'm open with my losses. I mean, you
Yeah.
take risk, and you're not gonna win every time. I had a $10,000
Like Gary Vee
investment.
said, I'll take that L. Like,
Yeah,
you
for
learn
sure.
from
I
it,
learned so
and-
much. Dude,
yeah.
I had all my corporate sponsors came to me. They had a great time. You know, I provided them bottle service and everything. I had servers and tuxes. I mean, this was like a mixed crowd.
Yeah.
And so it was like bankers, and it was like our age. So, I mean, we did that, and it was awesome. I mean, I didn't have a good time because I was sitting there calculating how much I lost.
Right.
But, I did it, and I'll do it again.
I was about to say, is it something that you're planning to do?
Oh yeah,
again?
it's already booked. Like
Awesome.
I've already got everything lined up. Like I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be easy. That's my
Yeah.
biggest flaw is I think everything's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
I just go into it like starting an insurance agency. I was like, oh, this will be nothing. You know, just a few documents I have to sign. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there with a pile of paperwork this tall. I'm just writing everything out like son of a gun.
Yeah.
Like, anything.
Well, and then that was I obviously I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I saw that
You should be there next year.
I
Get your
saw
ticket.
that. Well, I kind of have a deal where I try to travel on for New Year's and go to a show. I don't really like
There
go
will be
to
a show.
I don't really go to concerts anymore on a regular basis, and so I try to pick like New Year's Eve to go find a big show to go to.
Depends on the band, I guess. I'll have to consult you on a band.
If you get Widespread Panic, I'm there.
I don't think I can afford
I
that.
don't think
I was
you
thinking about getting Theo Vaughn, deadass.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
He was really low last year on his pricing. But
yeah,
I don't
probably
know if
changed
it
now.
changed dramatically.
But that I guess that was something that I took out of it is like I heard the aftermath of it. Like I heard from like Dakota and,
Yeah,
and
they were all there.
Roberts and some other people that
I
were there.
think they had a good time.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
that-
if they'd tell me the truth.
That was the thing. I asked them straight up. What was it like? I saw something was going on, but I didn't look into it by any means. And they were like, yeah, we had a great time. They were like, it wasn't as big as we thought it was going to be, but we still had a good time.
I didn't do a good job marketing.
Well, and that was kind of what I took away from it was like, I knew about it, but who else knew about it?
Mhm.
Like I guess that's what it really comes down to. And I think, like you said, you had some bigger players in the community
For sure.
there, and if you do it again, you say, hey, look, we're doing this. We had a great time last year. Same dude's doing it. It's going to be a similar setup. Like,
Yeah.
let's go check it out. I think obviously I hope that you
I
have
hope so, yeah,
better
I mean,
success the
I'm
second time
100%
around. But
certain. I'm naive enough to believe that I will be successful this time.
yeah, for sure.
And
I
if
mean,
it's not, I won't do it again.
Yeah.
But
you get the word out and
yeah,
and
I've
things
made the
make
right
things happen.
connections. I've got on a few committees over in Monroe and just kind of networked a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
So just talk to people that are doing that. There's a lot of people out there. Like, have you been to the Domo event?
I haven't.
You have to go.
Yeah,
Margaritas on the River, or Rita's on the River.
Yeah,
is
it's on
May
the-
18th.
It was on the bridge or something.
It's over there downtown.
Yeah, I think they're like closing the bridge, the concrete bridge.
Maybe. I didn't go last year, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. But I met with the people putting it on. Her name's, anyway, I don't know her name. But
Yeah.
if I wasn't
Nah.
sitting here talking to you, I'd remember it.
Fair enough. No, the first time that I had really gone down to that area was a couple weeks ago. I went down to H2Go and they had an open house event and two dudes brewing cues across the street. That looks like a cool place. I've seen a lot of people
Yeah, I
talking
haven't
about that. But yeah, the whole Domo area is definitely
They're putting in work.
Yeah.
They have a fairly big office. Like, that's all they do.
really.
Yeah. So I mean,
Just plan events and
That's
stuff.
that's fairly new, and they're killing it.
Yeah, no doubt. Rustin's definitely trying to get a
Rustin's
little more
killing it.
hip.
Jesus.
We're gonna have a huge baseball facility soon. So
Yeah. Like, you're trying to compete with Sterlington, I guess.
I feel pretty confident we'll blow Sterlington out of the water, just
Probably won't be hard.
due to main thoroughways like 167, and I mean obviously 165 runs through Sterlington too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I've heard, I haven't ever been out there, but from what
I've
I've
been out
heard,
there twice.
it's not what everybody wanted it to be. So
What are you gonna do? It's Sterlington. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll use it
no doubt.
for sure. And I mean, Dylan used it for bayou stock.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
It
And
was
so-
really snowing the day before, and then it was warm. It was the weirdest thing. Louisiana for they were freaking out.
So that was like a full-on music festival that
he personally put that on.
So that was some old school Tim McGraw style stuff.
Yeah. So that's exactly what he said. He was like, why would I not? I was there when they planned it. I mean, they were like, they couldn't do, what was it? They couldn't do something stock because who had another music festival called Swamp Stock? Is that a thing? Is that who's that?
I think that was Tim McGraw's thing.
Maybe.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
remember.
makes sense. But they were talking about it, and then they came up. I was right there when they said bayou stock. I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But
Roll with
they
it.
crushed it, and he gave so much to charity. It was ridiculous, like
Really?
everything. He paid his crew, he paid me, and then he gave everything to kids, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he from an idea like 4 months before that, and then crushed it. But he had billboards, and he has the money, and he can do whatever he wants. I mean,
For sure.
at that level, I have a lot of respect for Dylan Scott. I mean, he's a good guy.
Cool. Yeah, I've never interacted with him, but like you said, I guess I just see the outside looking in.
And he
kinda
looks
deal.
like a douchebag. Dylan, you look like a douchebag, dude. I mean, but that's your market, okay?
But I mean, it's super cool to see someone from our area like doing as well as he's done,
Dude,
and
phenomenal.
like you say, and coming back and giving back to the community. Like nothing but respect for that.
What he used, he was. I don't understand how this dude's so smart, but he used teachers, people who are going to know the most about their kids, to pick the kids that were going to get the gifts. So it wasn't just like he went to a church and dumped off Xboxes.
Oh,
like he
okay.
knew people who were with them every day and saw who they were,
Yeah.
and then had a list developed and a committee formed and did all
Wow.
this. I mean,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like
So it wasn't just thrown to some fund and
No,
got
not at all,
possibly
not in the league, not in the
wasted.
slightest. It
That's awesome. That's really cool.
crushed it.
Yeah.
To have that, he's what 26. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Doing better
man.
than me.
Yeah, doing better than everybody. I mean, better than my dad, better than anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just killing it, man. But I mean, you got 6 years of that, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Think about it. Have you ever been to Nashville?
Yes, I have.
Have you walked down Broadway at night?
I have.
That's insane.
It is.
I didn't know.
The only place, like, obviously we've been to Bourbon Street, but the only place that I like kind of felt sketchy was in Memphis on Beale Street.
Oh yeah. I've
After
been to
10
Memphis.
p.m., they make you walk through a metal detector, and that kind of sketched me out.
What were you doing over there?
Whenever Johnny Satterfield
Hmm.
had cancer and was up at St. Jude,
Okay.
I went up there like 3 or 4 times, and one time we went down, just walked down Beale Street, and just saw the sights.
Yeah, I used to see Johnny all the time whenever I was driving ULM, but he's doing bigger and better things for sure. Another guy killing it. Johnny, you're killing it.
He's about to be for sure.
He's been killing it. I don't know what you're talking about. That dude hustles.
So he definitely never gave up. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
for sure. Yeah.
He's the man. Love that kid.
Yeah.
What else you got on your list over there? I'm interested to see what you want to talk
Dude,
about.
I mean, does nobody ever bring lists? What are you
no,
talking about?
no.
I don't know. So you're getting into fitness. You've been running lately?
I've been doing a lot of like stadiums and like I have a little sunroom in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my roommates brought over a bench, and so we have like a weight bench and yoga mat and a couple of dumbbells and stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but like I just started doing like basically just step up on the bench and throw my other knee up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Step
mean,
ups.
yeah, just did
You've
like
been jumping up there.
just
too?
like did 100 of them, But like that is my goal right now is to go climb the highest peak in Texas.
How high's that?
It's like 8,000 something feet.
I've never been a climber. I'm not scared of heights. I've never been a climber.
So like, whenever I say climb, like I am hiking. Like
Oh, okay.
I am not rock climbing.
Okay.
Like I am walking.
Oh, okay.
It's basically 3,000 feet of elevation change over 4 miles. So it's like 8 miles round trip.
That's the hardest part's elevation, I'd imagine.
Yeah. The hardest part is coming down because of all the pressure that you're putting on
You
your
have to
knees
take
every
time
step.
to do that? I mean,
Like what do you mean?
like so you can walk up there as fast as you want, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
But
But you're talking about like
Yeah,
decompression type
yeah.
deal? No,
it's not that high.
No, it's not that high.
But your nose is going to probably bleed.
No, I mean, I went up to 14,000 feet a couple of different times. That was what I got obsessed with in Denver. Like, I didn't have many friends, and I realized, like, all right, dude, you're like an hour away from one of the biggest mountain ranges in the country. Like, go check it out, because I'd been to Utah, like, I guess the summer before with my brother to go elk hunting, and just saw that kind of mountainous country and fell in love with it.
It's awesome.
And so I had to go check it out. So I started climbing 14,000-foot peaks. And I would just find, like, the easy ones that you could hike all the way up, and you didn't have to do any, like, real bouldering or mountaineering. And I think I did 3 of them, one of them being the highest peak in the second highest peak in the continental U.S., which is Mount Elbert.
Okay. You get, like, this extreme sense of accomplishment when you got to the top? Like, you got, like, an Xbox achievement?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's not at first. Like, I get up there and I'm, like, looking around. I'm like, all right, well, I made it. And, I sit down and, like, hang out and, like, soak it in for, like, 30, 45 minutes. And, like, somewhere in the middle of that, it's like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
like, you're literally looking at mountain range. Like, you're on top of a mountain looking at other mountain ranges. Like, you grew up in the flattest place in the world.
One of the flattest places, yeah.
I mean, it just blows my mind every time. And I got this, it just fires me up to just talk about it, dude.
Yeah,
like,
for sure,
I just, like, crave it so much now. And Mount Driscoll is nothing to talk about, which is the highest peak in Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've never been.
Yeah, but Memorial Day. That's the plan. I'm gonna drive over to Dallas on Friday, and then it's all the way in West Texas. It's right on the border of New Mexico. It's Guadalupe Peak.
I've
is what
probably
it's
seen
called.
it then.
So I'm gonna take off over there and wake up early Sunday morning and get to the top and maybe do like a sunrise sesh. Like wake up at 3 a.m. and start hiking and watch the sunrise at the top.
Sounds like to me you need to get a dog.
Yeah, the problem with a dog is I have to take care of it and feed it and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And it's a lot of money, yeah. And I know that if I did get a dog, it'd probably be here right now. Like, I'd just carry it around.
Yeah,
everywhere
I
I
almost
went.
brought mine. I'm not even gonna lie, but he would bark the whole time. That's why I didn't want to do it at home, because he's just a hyper fella.
Yeah.
I rescued him. He lived under my deer camp in a dirt hole for 4 months.
Gosh.
And then the last day of deer season, I finally captured him. He wouldn't let me touch him.
Yeah.
So my little cousin like chased him around the house, and I just scooped him up.
Wow.
And then ever since then, he like won't get away from it. Camera cut off.
Yeah, it's got a 30-minute limit on it, so it's
Okay. But yeah. This is my second mutt, and so like I love him.
So I have a goal of like living out of a van, like high roof Sprinter van, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van,
Excursion.
4-wheel drive. And I think I would get a dog if I was like fully living van life on the road, traveling around by myself. Then I'd probably get a dog. But
I met a guy in Minnesota that he raises elk, and he actually customizes Mercedes Sprinter vans.
yeah,
To do that, and his was pretty sweet. He's a crazy man. What's his name? Jimmy, if you're listening. I doubt you are, but don't ever talk to me again. I bought a bunch of elk meat from him.
oh nice.
Yeah, so like he actually raises them and sells
Yeah,
them. But
yeah.
like he showed up to another show like demanding his chair or something weird. It's weird. It's like he just showed up to a carnival like with Dylan, just like was the weirdest dude ever.
Oh my gosh.
And it just like wanted to know how his elk tastes and like all this stuff. I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Like we met one time.
There's a bunch of like Axis farms and stuff around.
I've never
around
eaten
here.
Axis,
Man,
but I
it's
heard they talk to each other.
it's
kinda-
sweet meat. Like literally, like the meat is sweet. It's delicious.
Don't they just roll around like meh, 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 meh?
Yeah.
Have you heard them?
Yeah, they do make
they're like
some
talking to
funky
you?
noises. Yeah.
Yeah.
They I heard today on that podcast, Kyle Tierman was talking about they were on Hawaii,
Okay.
and so Axis are on Hawaii.
Yeah, they're like overpopulated.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. And so they were talking about how apparently they were like wherever they originally came from, they were
Yeah,
They're
they're
so
from
skittish.
India,
yeah
and
they're so
they're
skittish.
tigers. hunt 'em.
Tigers,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so they're like super skittish because of tigers.
Yeah, I
and-
would be too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
but-
super predator.
yeah, but like that's why they're so jumpy and stuff. So
Yeah, they're like super smart. They
But-
run in packs.
talking about elk, elk are slowly repopulating across the country.
Yeah, they're in Arkansas now.
They're in Arkansas,
They
they're
have
in
a season.
Kentucky, they're in Tennessee. Like they're all along the Appalachian Mountains now. It's pretty interesting to see that.
Yeah, but I think Adam Greentree and Joe Rogan's influence is going to change a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, like people taking them out?
Yeah, I think they're going to help it. I mean, they're going to take them down.
Fair enough.
And buses and 18-wheelers are probably going to eliminate some of that.
No doubt.
That's what, if you look at like wrecks across our nation, the Northeast, like that's the in California and like a bunch of liberaler states, they have a lot more wrecks due to deer because they don't kill them and they're not scared. So if you think about it, we're actually saving a lot of insurance. Our premiums are going down because of our hunting abilities.
Premiums are high enough already.
Dude, our premiums are ridiculous, and it's like the biggest scam ever. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
Insurance
But like,
is ridiculous.
I mean, auto insurance, like, isn't it like 70% of Louisianans don't have auto insurance?
If you went and got a P.O. box in Arkansas and got reinstated your insurance there, then you would save probably at least 30%.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually have this for you. If you want to take a defensive driving class, this will save you 20%.
Okay. I've done that before to get out of a ticket.
Yeah, well, if you've already done it, then it might not save you.
Yeah,
anything.
it's like every 3 years or something you can do one, I think.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Yeah.
I already get a discount.
Fair enough.
But it's not. Louisiana has the highest insurance rates, and if I know guys paying a ridiculous amount of money, and if they just put that in their bank, a savings account, they would cover any loss they ever had. It's called retention. It's the best way to insure something. If you can get away with it, you should just retain your money. I mean, I don't handle like people like us that write insurance. I handle commercial business only, so that's different. There's regulatory bodies that'll force you to have insurance.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just basically what's the best coverage that I can get, and that actually helps. But for me and you driving our trucks, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So is insurance something that you see yourself doing for a long time?
Yeah, so I'm building a team of guys. If anybody wants to sell insurance, hit me up because I'm doing really good rates on commission. So what I'm doing is I'm just like building a team of people that specialize in niche environments. So like I got a guy that does restaurants. I have a guy that does ag, and then I do commercial auto, obviously, because of Mayo Tours and my family in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah.
But
so you're taking people that are already familiar with the industry.
Yeah, for construction. I mean, this big market.
Yeah.
My dad's also a contractor, so I kind of do a little bit of that too. But it's really, you have to have a very good understanding of what you're talking about when you're selling insurance, because you can't just go sell commercial auto to somebody and all you know is your truck insurance. I mean, you have to. It helps me a lot that I can sit there and I can talk about driving a bus or or a commercial vehicle in general and say I know what you're going through. I know what the carrier deals with. I'm here to help. Like, because all I am is a representation of you talking to an insurance company. I mean, that's all an agent is.
Yeah.
It sounds glamorous, whatever. I'm a commercial insurance broker, but at the end of the day, I'm just representing individuals that have businesses. And I mean, my best advice to anybody is get good coverage and read your contracts, because some people just throw exclusions in it's not worth it. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but people do it, and it's not good. And it's just to save $1. Or make $1 more. And it's ridiculous. It's just stupid. But people do it. People are corrupt. But
no doubt.
It gets rough. But I mean, I don't know. Are you going to do construction for the time being? What's your goals?
What's my goals?
Yeah.
My goals are like, I don't know. I really enjoy film, and I know we talked about that outside of here. But
You got a drone yet?
I do have a drone.
What you rocking? What you flying?
I got a Mavic Pro, the original one.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Did you get your 107?
I've been working on it. It's
I'll
something
share a
that
link.
I need to put. I've paid for a class that I can take at any point in time.
Why? It's an hour-long
'cause it
video
was
on YouTube.
It was on like big time discount. I paid like $70, and it was
Oh.
guaranteed to make me pass. So I just have to put the time in to take the class.
I got a video you watch in an hour, you'll pass it. It's the easiest test you'll ever take.
Really
Yeah, it's not hard, dude.
interesting.
The hardest part's reading the maps and telling what the fly zones.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the weather and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I haven't got my license, but I know people that have watched this video and got it, and I have a drone, but I literally just fly around my backyard and look at stuff. Like, I'll shoot a Nutri-Rat or something, go look at with the drone, because I'm so lazy.
What kind of drone do you have?
Dude, I have like a, what is this thing? It's like a Maverick Pro or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have the app. It's like a Bugsy. Yeah, it's stupid. This is it. It's like a B5W, but it has a range. It has a pretty good range. I mean, and it has a first-person camera. It has a gimbal and everything. But
Okay.
I don't use it for like actual filming. I use it for like looking at duck holes. And
Yeah, no doubt.
just stuff like that.
That's the whole drone market is a really weird deal right now. A lot because of how regulated it's getting with the 107 and
Yeah, but the 107 is like the easiest.
yeah, but like
I
I
think
guess
the Part 33 is the hard one.
if you don't have a 107, like people are really getting in trouble for that.
Yeah, you can't sell a picture.
Yeah.
So like if I was to go take a photo for my dad, like a subdivision or something, then
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I had a guy reach out to me who's a landscaper here in Monroe, and I went and flew some stuff for him.
Give him a shout out. What's his name?
Tyler Boyd, I'm wearing his hat.
Yeah.
That's my boy. But like I said, I flew some stuff for him, some before and after. I was gonna do some before and after type stuff, and I got the before stuff. Computer crashed, totally lost all of it. But like I started thinking more about it and was like, dude, if I like put this out at all, I could potentially get.
If you don't get
trouble for
paid
it.
though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've worked it into some videos that I've done before, and I haven't gotten paid for any of that stuff. So
The Part 33 is supposed to be the hard one, and that's whenever you get to fly over large groups of people. Basically, is all it separates you from,
interesting.
and flying at night.
Yeah.
So, but I looked into all of it. You got to go to Shreveport to take the test. I mean, it's just time consuming. I try to manage my time as best as I can.
No doubt. But my goals are, I'd love to get. I don't have ideas for films necessarily, but like I would, I'd really like to get involved with someone who does films and just like learn more about, get into the industry and learn more about it. If the podcast takes off and I can make money off of that, and like I said, they talk about living in a van and travel around and meet people, and
I think there's people that do that.
that kind of deal. No, there definitely is, and I kind of see it as like a 5-year plan, maybe 10-year plan. Like I bought a house and I'm investing in that and feel pretty confident that I put a little work into it. I can make some money off of it and go from there. But I don't know. I do enjoy what I do. I have a good relationship with my dad and my uncle because of it, and they're starting to work me into more things and give me a little more power and responsibility, and obviously that feels good. So, I'm happy where I'm at, and I have 2 roommates that help me pay all the bills at my house.
That's awesome.
And,
That's key.
But I think that may change soon, and if it does, obviously I want it to for them. Like they need to
We'll just use Sigma Nu and get some guys in there.
keep moving on. Yeah, live with some
I know some-
18-year-old frat boys.
I would do older guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, income's income.
Yeah,
and
no
passive
doubt.
income at that.
Yeah.
You just have to put up with somebody's BS.
For sure.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I love it. I love passive income.
Yeah.
So you have to do it.
I guess like really the next goal is to like find a place to do this. Like get a studio or something like
Well, man,
that.
if I'm in town, if you want to use this,
Cool.
I will let you.
Awesome.
And like I said, I come here and I do things, but not much.
Fair enough.
So I mean, most of my work's sitting in front of my bed. It's weird, just like sitting there, just typing away on the phone. you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with, and I struggle with this a lot, is consumerism. Especially just to change topic, but like, man, I want Apple AirPods so bad, so bad. It's just
See that kind of plays into my whole van life deal. Is like I want to simplify my life, but I'm not going to until I'm forced to do so.
Yeah.
And I have this whole minimalism idea, and I want to go throw all my T-shirts away, but at the same time, like, I love that T-shirt from whenever I was 12 years old. And
your Good Hope Middle School.
yeah, exactly. I still have my West Monroe football shorts.
Yeah, I do too. They're kind of wore down, but
yeah. The elastic waistband will rip if you stretch it out.
You
But
can't. The knot is so tight that you can't undo it. You know what I'm talking about?
oh yeah.
I think before I graduated, I walked in there. My little brother was still playing, so I made him go into Coach Sanders' office and buy like shorts because they're so cheap. They're like $10. Like you get a shirt and shorts for $20. So you can't beat that cash.
That's true. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, semen. I got like 3 pair.
Yeah.
And he wrote Smith on them, so it didn't matter. It was
There
me.
you go. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we all have you run into guys that played for West Monroe. It doesn't matter the age. I mean, as long as Coach E was still there. I mean, you get too deep, he wasn't there. But if Coach E was there, y'all have the exact same experience. That man is a beast.
No doubt.
Whenever if Coach E, if you hear this, I mean, we have each other's number, and so I drove them. Like I was their driver. They
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
want
yeah.
anybody else besides me to drive.
Okay.
Obviously, because we had the same experience and they knew me for 4 years
Yeah.
and whatever. But Coachy called me, "Hey, bull, what are you doing?" Like, this is recently, so it's just a flashback to
Yeah.
high school. You're like, "Oh, what's up, Coachy?" He's like, "What are you doing 2 weeks from now?" Or like 3 months from now, like June 15th. And I'm like, "I don't know, Coachy." He's like, "You're driving for me." Hangs up. Doesn't even say it. Doesn't ask.
Okay.
No, I did it last year, but this year I was like, Coachy, I know what you're gonna say. I can't do it.
So you would like drive them down to the dome or
Yeah.
or
Well, I didn't
whatever?
do the dome because I don't know. There's entertainer coaches that go down there and they get paid more, so
Fair enough.
do them. But like I took them to the 7-on-7
Oh yeah.
in Birmingham.
Yeah. Did
Did that last year. And that's what the June 17th thing is.
Yeah.
21st, whatever day.
Yeah, I guess it would be in the middle of summer.
Yeah, but I should never gave them my number. But they call me all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. But you walk in that locker room and you smell the same thing, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. I don't have any like this. When you go in there, you're like, oh yeah, you remember things, but then I don't really have any fondness looking back and saying, I wish I could do that again. I try to keep a forward momentum attitude and just only look to the future and forget a lot of stuff purposely.
No doubt.
So you got to forget.
I'm definitely with you there.
Clear your mind, man. Look at your brain as like a computer and just clear it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just like look at the relationships that I maintained outside of like as soon as I got out of high school, like with people still. I mean, like honestly, shouts out to anyone who graduated with me who is watching this right now because
For sure.
you care clearly. But like it was just like Johnny and like Dustin Conville and some other people in that group, but like and nobody like there weren't a lot of people from my graduating class that I was friends with after high school.
Really?
And I talked about that last week, like going to tech.
Yeah, you met Austin.
Yeah, but there was literally a handful of people that I knew that were going to tech from West Monroe, and I knew them and I could be cordial with them, but I guess I was looking to change my friend group as well.
For sure.
So
You got to broaden yourself.
no doubt.
I mean, they're always like. I mean, I'm still good friends with Jay Hoagland. Shout out to Jay Hoagland.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
We hang out. I mean, I hadn't hung out with him in a couple. I mean, I guess over a year, and we hung out the other weekend, and we went to Ruston and all that, and it was just like the same. Like we never stopped being friends.
Yeah.
We actually ended up on the way down there. This car. This is a weird story. We were on the way down there. They'd been drinking. I'm sorry, Jay, you were drinking. But anyway, I was driving.
What?
I was fine. Yeah. Jay drinking? What's going on? It was like Tyler Rawls. You remember that?
Oh,
name?
yeah,
Tyler
yeah.
Rawls and Jared Elshaw.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
so they're all
remember
they're in the car. I normally don't hang out with Jared. Jared, don't hang out with you. And then so we're driving. This car just starts rolling. And he rolls like 6 times, before the first exit at Ruston.
Oh my gosh.
And it ended up being a guy we graduated when Adam White, DJ rolled your car. Anyway, he rolled his car,
Yeah.
and me and Jay's like, pull over. So I was like, okay. I pulled over. I wasn't going to stop. I don't know why. For some reason, I was like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
But then he was like, that car's rolled over, pull over.
Yeah.
That's how good your guy Jay is. We
No
pulled
doubt.
over. He just gets out of the truck, runs as fast as he can down the hill. I'm like, oh, crap. I pull up my phone, call 911. There's girls in front of us. I was like, you on the phone with 911? She said, yes. I just threw my phone on flashlight and just ran after him. We get to this car, and it's this little girl and Adam. And I hadn't seen Adam since high school. Didn't even recognize him. Had a full beard. And I don't know what car this was, but it had so many airbags that they were fine. This car rolled 6 times. You know that hill right before the Holiday Inn in Ruston?
Oh, yeah.
Down that hill.
Man.
And they're upside down, just like this. And Jay didn't want to open the door.
Yeah.
So I go around the passenger side, which I thought was the driver's side because the car's upside down. And Jay's like, I could tell. He's like, we'll open this door. Because we didn't know what we were going to say. There was no noise. We're yelling. Nobody was saying anything. Open the door. Not a scratch. Not a scratch on these people.
That's
Billy
crazy.
Aldridge, who went to high school a couple years younger than us,
Yeah.
is the cop that shows up.
Yeah.
So everybody there, it was just like a flashback to West Monroe. Like Billy Aldridge is the cop that steps out of the car.
That's a name I haven't heard in a
Yeah,
very
dude,
long
who
time.
has? I didn't know he was a cop.
Yeah.
I know his older brother's a cop in Monroe, but
Yeah.
that was a weird night. They just got our adrenaline going. Then we went to, I think it's called, people in restaurants hate me for this, Ponchatoula? Is
Yeah,
that the name?
Ponchatoula's.
Yeah, Ponchatoula's went
Ponch.
there. Ponch. Tyler peed in the alleyway. They didn't like that.
Yeah.
Called him out for not being from Ruston.
Pee in the back or in the actual alley?
In the actual alleyway, right where they were smoking
that's a
cigs.
problem,
That was a big
Yeah,
problem.
you need to go around the corner.
That's what the dude said. He's like, just go around the corner.
Yeah,
What do you
literally nobody would have said anything to you if you
Yeah.
walked around the corner.
Yeah, but no, he just pulled it out. Where there's people sitting there smoking cigs.
Oh man,
That's funny
no
stuff.
alcoholic beverages were involved at all.
Yeah, none. Absolutely zero.
Oh,
But there was a lot.
yeah,
I don't care. I mean, it's alcohol, whatever.
for sure. We're all of age.
Yeah. But that was a weird experience. And I hadn't seen Jay in years.
Yeah, I see Jay on a semi-regular basis. We've seen each other at a lot of weddings here recently, but he was one of my pledge brothers.
Oh, really?
So I didn't join Sigma Nu freshman year.
Smart.
My brother was a Sigma Nu, and I basically reached out to him for counsel, as you say.
Mhm.
And
Seeking counsel.
yeah, he was like, just wait, just figure it out.
That's smart.
And it was worth it because I bombed my first quarter at Tech, made a 1.8 GPA, and started climbing from there. But so I became pledge class president
Oh, yeah.
of the
Because
grade.
you're probably the oldest guy.
Yeah, me and Taylor Dawson. I don't know if you know Taylor Dawson.
Name sounds familiar. I'd have
Yeah,
to put
he
it-
grew up in West Monroe but went to
Okay.
OCS. But yeah, Dakota Hill and
Yeah, Dakota, Jonathan, Chase.
Chase, yeah,
Yeah.
all those guys, yeah,
All the guys I graduated with.
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah, I heard y'all didn't haze enough.
They don't anymore. I know that.
That nobody does. These hands don't haze.
These hands don't haze.
Oh, excuse me. I don't want to drink that beer. It's bad. You shouldn't do that to people.
Yeah.
Free beer is bad.
I don't know. And there was. It's weird because I hung out at Sigma Nu all freshman year, so I became friends with all the actives before I became a pledge. So ended up actually hurting some relationships once I became a pledge because some of those guys who I thought were my friends decided that they weren't going to be my friend
They're
for a
gonna be
little
dicks,
while.
man.
And
It's a weird dynamic. I always tried not. After experiencing that, I tried to not be that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
you're a
always
human being.
I was always the guy who, like, if it was a pledgeship activity, I would probably be a dick.
Yeah.
But as soon as the pledgeship activity was over, I was like, "Hey man, you all right?
Exactly,
You good? Is there
exactly.
anything I can do for you?" Like, because, like you say, they are still going to be around, most of them, and
Yeah.
they are. You brought them in there, so you might as well be friends with them.
Same.
I had one kid who, I'm just gonna call him out, Mitchell. Mitchell's is a funny dude, but he was a pledge, and while we were at a tailgate for a football game one day, I kind of, looking back on it, it's probably wrong, but I made him stand up on a table, and I just asked him random questions like, "What's your favorite color? If you were an animal, what animal would you be?" Just nothing absurd, just very simple, straightforward questions, and he answered all of them, and I told him he'd get down and go on about his day. Well, the next day rolls around, Sunday, and he's cleaning the house with some other guys, and an active comes up to me and says, "Hey, Mitchell has a problem with you." And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, really?" So I go up to Mitchell and I say, "Hey, man, you got a problem?" And he's like, "No, it's not that big a deal." I was like, "Dude, look, I'm the kind of person, if you have a problem, I want to talk it out. So let's talk it out." And he was like, "Man, you embarrassed the shit out of me." And I was just like,
You
Oh.
probably did.
"Oh, wow." Like, it made me, like, step back and, like, all right, I did kind of mess with this kid maybe a little too far. Even if I don't think it did, he did. So, like, I should probably pump the brakes. And
It's probably because there's girls around. And
oh
it wasn't
yeah, no
private.
doubt.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a turning point for me in that whole realm. I guess if you were being an idiot, I'd let you know you were an idiot. But I didn't necessarily go out of my way to tell you you're an idiot anymore. So
yeah.
I try to do that now too.
Young and dumb, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. You got to call people out sometimes. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to understand that everybody's the same, and you can't just be a dick and don't talk bad about people.
No
You got to be
doubt.
nice. I mean,
No doubt.
but if somebody's acting a fool, tell them, hey, you're being retarded right now, and get your act together. And what are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow? Like, what are you doing? Let's go get lunch.
Yeah,
Let's figure some stuff out. You need to seek counsel. Like, just go over it with them.
for sure. All right, dude. I think we need to wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up. Hey, let me do a few
Go
plugs.
for it. Go for it.
You can reach me at Adrian, Adrian, at rminconsulting.com. You can find me on LinkedIn at rminconsulting.com. And then also my Insta is Adrian M. Smith. So you can reach me at those locations. And if you want to start a business, holler at me. I love, that's my passion, is building things. Maybe not, I'll give you some guidance, but I'm not going to, do the baby work for you. But if you want to do that, shoot me a shot, just DM me or something. I'm always here to help. I mean, y'all can do it. I know there's some guys out there with some great ideas, or girls, But other than that, I got nothing. I appreciate you having me on.
For sure,
You
Adrian.
kill
I
it.
appreciate you reaching out and you being patient with me to meet
Oh,
up.
my pleasure,
and
dude.
I really am appreciative of the leads that you've given me to some other people that
Yeah.
potential podcasts. I'm super excited about that. So thanks again, and I appreciate all your knowledge and just
My
having an
pleasure.
honest conversation with me.
For sure.
Cool, man. Thanks, and maybe we'll see you again sometime.
For sure. My pleasure.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.